A very good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Today, I welcome to my classroom where we're going to study all the IGCSEs. Okay, so here in my lectures, in this particular channel that I'm sharing, we are going to study IGCSE chemistry, biology, and physics. Later on, I'll be focusing on ASA level biology, chemistry, and physics as well. So without wasting any time, let's start our today's topic of biology, cells. Okay, so what is cell actually? Let's understand that. See, so can you see this is a brick wall, correct? So this brick wall, if you look at a brick wall, it is made up of one peculiar thing that I want to tell you is that it is made up of these small brick which have come together, isn't it? So the smallest of the thing that is coming together to make a huge brick wall is this brick actually. Okay, so this is the smallest unit that comes together to many smallest units like these. The brick, they have come together to form a brick wall. Okay. Like you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. You know, it is made up of throughout lot of brick which have come together. So similarly, our body, a human or an animal, okay, it is an animal. These animals, they are made up of very small units, very small functional units. Those are known as cells. Okay, I hope I make sense. So us organisms, we are made up of the smallest unit that we are made up of, which is actually functional, is known as a cell. And cell is defined as it is the basic unit of life. I hope it makes sense. Basic unit of life. Now, all of these cells come together to form an organism. Okay. Now, if we'll talk about the kinds of organism on the basis of cells, I would say that there are two kinds of organism, majorly. One is, the first one is multicellular. Okay. And the other one is unicellular. So if you'll have a look at it, multi means many, whereas cellular means cell. Uni means one, and cellular again means cell. So the organism that is made up of many cells are known as multicellular organisms. Okay, for example, we can say humans, bacteria, maybe a mango tree. Okay. And then when we are talking about unicellular, obviously, as the name suggests, the organisms which are made up of just one cell is known as unicellular. And the example is bacteria. Okay, so this is the major thing. And then, there comes up one more actually, which we won't be discussing right now. It's acellular. Anywhere in biology, if you come across the word, that means no or zero or absence. So the organism which is made up of no cell I mean, it is not made up of any cell, is known as acellular organism, and the example is virus. We will discuss about this later on, but first of all, mostly we'll be discussing about these two, and then later on, after the end of the, I mean, in some other video, I'll be talking about virus. Why are we calling it acellular? Okay. Okay, now let's proceed forward. And herein, a very interesting topic that we'll be coming across is the types of cells. So there are majorly two types of cells that we are going to study in our IGCSEs, that is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Before understanding prokaryotic and eukaryotic, I would like to tell you something, is that whenever we talk about biology, actually, we're going to study biology in terms of root words. Okay, for example, bio, if you see anywhere, that stands for life or living things. Okay, whereas logy means study. So in all, the study of living things is known as what? Biology. Okay, for example, and these, when we study by these these are the root words, we say root words. Like we saw even the root words there, uni means one and multi means many. So these are also root words. That one word like gamey, gamey means what? Gamey means marriage. Okay, so that is how. Also, for example, if we talk about this one word, bioluminescence, you might have heard of. So bio means living things. Okay, and luminescence, the word comes from luminous objects, maybe the objects producing light. So the living things which produce their own light, this particular phenomena is known as bioluminescence. Okay, so that is how actually mostly we'll be talking about the root words in our biology course of IGCSE. So herein, again, you can see there, I will teach you through root word. Pro here. Pro means before or ancient. Okay, whereas the word karyotic stands for nucleus. Okay, U anywhere if you see in bio, EUU, that means true. And karyotic again stands for nucleus. So the organisms, from here it's clear that the organisms which existed or which existed before the formation of a particular nucleus are known as prokaryotic organism, and the example is bacteria. Now, the thing that you would like to know is, if when we look more into the nucleus, then you will understand this prokaryotic thing. Because you know what? This nucleus is actually for now you understand that this particular nucleus is a container. Think of it as a container, and the container contains a molecule which is known as genetic material. Okay, genetic material is actually, for example, RNA and DNA. Okay, now these RNA and DNA, they're responsible. They're responsible for what? They're responsible for carrying genetic information. Genetic information from one generation to another. One generation to another. Now the question may arise in your heads is that what is this genetic information? So children, genetic information may be the size of your nose, the hair color, your skin color, all these things, they're coming from your parents. So all these things actually show that how these genetic information is being, how these genetic information is passed. So we'll study more in detail as we move forward in the course of IGCSE. We'll look across that how genetic material is so important. Okay. Now, similarly, so from here, what we need to understand is that these prokaryotic organisms, like bacteria, because nucleus, I'm saying that it's a container that contains genetic material. So let's say this is a container, okay, and in which the genetic material is contained. So this is what I'm calling nucleus. Okay, but because prokaryotic organisms are before this particular nucleus thing, so what happens in prokaryotic organism? In prokaryotic organism, what happens that the genetic material is lying naked in the cytoplasm. What is the meaning of naked? Naked means that there is no container present. It's just lying like that. Okay, and if you don't know about cytoplasm, we'll shortly look into what is cytoplasm. Okay, so I hope this particular prokaryotic thing is clear. Okay. Now, obviously, if this was prokaryotic, then what is the meaning of eukaryotic? The organisms which have a well-defined nucleus, which have a well-defined nucleus. Okay, and this nucleus contains genetic material. I hope I make sense. Okay, so this genetic material that is contained in nucleus, you have to understand, is a new character. Or actually, having nucleus is an advanced character. Whereas on the line of evolution, we will say that the process of having no nucleus or naked genetic material shows that it is an ancient character. That is why we are calling prokaryotic, because the genetic material lying naked in the cytoplasm shows an ancient character, which might have existed like, when the life started. Okay. But then as the life started, evolution happened. And then, the process, actually, we will study shortly about compartmentalization or division of labor. Okay. In this particular thing, we will see that how this evolution and the, upcoming of nucleus and all has led to even better performance of the cell. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now let's move forward. So now also in this session, we'll be talking about the types of cells. When we are talking about actually eukaryotic cell, two major types of eukaryotic cells that we're going to study under IGCSE is a plant cell and an animal cell. Okay, so these are the major. Now let's draw it out and let's understand the differences and similarities between plant and animal cell. Okay, I hope everyone gets along with me. So here on the left side, we are going to draw a plant cell. See, though I'm drawing a plant cell, that doesn't mean that let's say, because we have seen that plants and animals, they belong to the multicellular organism. So that doesn't mean that, all the maybe millions of cells which are present in a particular plant or a human of this shape and size only. They differ, obviously. But it's like, the thing that we are going to study in here, the type of cell. It's one of these cells which is present. But this particular cell contains each and every, the major cells of the plant. So this particular cell represents it actually represents the cell which is quite common, like all the characteristic it has. That is why we have taken this particular type of cell. And this particular type of cell is known as palisade cell. Okay, this particular type of cell is known as palisade cell from leaf. Okay. Now, the outermost layer is known as cell wall, followed by the inner one, which is known as cell membrane. Okay. Here is the cytoplasm. And then this one's the larger one is a vacuole. Okay. And then this one is a well-defined nucleus. You see, uh, you see what is happening? There's a compartment in which the genetic material is there. Okay. And then we have some organelles like these. Okay. Now these organelles are quite peculiar and these are known as mitochondria. Okay. And then they are dot-like organelles. These dot-like organelles are known as what? They are known as ribosomes. Okay, we will shortly see what are these actually used for. Okay, and then in here we also have one amazing type of cell, or sorry, organelle, which is present in plant cells. It's known as chloroplast. Yeah. So that's it. In the next video, actually, I will be talking about, I'll show you more about, we will talk about more of this palisade cell and plant cell, sorry, animal cell, and then we will also discuss the, we will also discuss the similarities and differences. Okay, meanwhile, you just go through this particular chapter and whatever I've explained, try to have a look at it. In the next video, we'll start from this particular point. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you liked my session. Please subscribe and like and share. Bye bye. Take care.